Hi everyone. Um, I'm Mark. I'm a big blue, big Evertonian. Been for about 40 years. I thought for a while that it would be interesting to do a video like this, see where it goes, see what fellow Blues opinions of what my opinions would be about the club currently, um, and go from there. I want to make this like a weekly video. I don't know what's going to happen with it. It might be it might go nowhere, but you never know. Predominantly what you'll see in this video today is me rambling on about everything Everton from one thing to another. So I don't know what direction it's going to take, where it's going to go, and what will happen next. So anyway, let's start and see where I go. Anyway, so as I've said at the beginning, I've been supporting Everton for 40 years. I blame my granddad. My granddad was an Evertonian when I was quite young. When I started getting into football, my mates all supported Liverpool, Manchester United, lived in Cheshire. He supported teams from either Manchester or Liverpool. I chose them because my granddad, at one point when he was very young, played football, played professionally for West Brom. And then he played semi-professionally. He didn't get far with West Brom, but he was a big Evertonian, always talked about the Blues back then when I was younger, before his death. And I wanted to follow in his footsteps because I got into football. I love football, played it to a semi-professional level. But I followed the Blues right from there, and it's been a roller coaster, as they say. You guys, anyone listen to this video or watch this video, it's a roller coaster ride of emotion, ups, downs, everything about it. Supporting the Blues. I started to support Everton 1983 with Howard Kendall in charge, so I can remember what happened before, when we became successful, and the great team that we had in the mid-80s, and so I saw a developing team. I was quite young, probably about 7 at that point, so I just loved football. I liked Everton. I loved the colour blue. I loved everything about, what the history that my granddad would tell me about them. The greats of the past, like Dixie Dean and, the greatest teams in the 60s and the 70s. And, for me, it didn't matter Liverpool or Manchester United, it didn't matter. Everton was the team for me. It felt right. It felt everything about it. But hearing the club struggling at that point in time under a great player for the club and a legend that is Howard Kendall. He was able to, in time and patience, to create a team that, well, if it wasn't for what happened in 1985 with Heysel, we could have gone on and developed for many years after, maybe even won the Champions League or the European Cup as it was then. But we were never to know. Anyway, so I've seen the ups of them great teams in the mid-80s. And then I saw the decline. I saw the relegation scraps with Wimbledon and Coventry later on. And it's a struggle. And then we had the Moyes era. And, he developed with not so much money, a good competitive team, which got us to the Champions League spot when we finished 4th. We were in Europe quite frequently, and we had some really good players who came quite cheaply, as we all know. And I'm not going to go rambling on about, the ins and outs of everything. What I want to talk about is now, really, and where we are now. Yes, I will ramble backwards about a time when Moshiri came in and the amount of managers that we've had, ins and out, sackings after sackings, players after players, and the mediocrity that we became. But I'm talking about the now. Yes, the last 2 games have been difficult. I was there, being a season ticket holder against Leicester. I was optimistic, like we all are, with the team, and it just was that bump in the road again. And it was like watching last season. It was like seeing a team struggling, devoid of confidence, belief, and it was just wasn't that what I've seen this season up to that point. And the knee-jerk reaction, I always, like most fans and most guys like yourself, or you got fans out there, is the knee-jerk reaction is, after a defeat like that, is sack the manager. That player's crap. Get rid of that player. We need this. We need that. We need, get the January window. We need something different. There's something not working. But a week before against Fulham, yes, we drew. We could have lost that game, but we didn't concede. There were, again, bad decisions by referees where we could have, Fulham could have had a player sent off when he should have had been a player sent off. But the previous week against Crystal Palace is where Crystal Palace, okay, are not performing well, but I will look at the Crystal Palace game as an indicator of the team that was out on that game, as an indicator to me of where I think we can go and where we're progressing to. But as in the Leicester game and the Bournemouth game the other night, the Bournemouth game, yes, we changed the team completely, but I'm thinking more of the Leicester game here, is a bump in the road. And it's one of those bumps that we're going to get more and more this season. And I think from last season, from what happened after, against the Palace game, I was there. I don't want to be in that position again. I've seen the Wimbledon game, the Coventry game back in the day. I've seen us struggle like that. I don't want to go through that. I don't want to see my football club going through that again. And I would guess that you guys out there are in the same feelings as I have. But whatever we think of what happened last season, and whatever we think is happening now, we must give patience, because if we don't, we're just going to force another manager out, not giving them another chance, an opportunity to try and stabilise the club. He's not going to do it in the time that he's been here. And there's going to be more changes. January's coming along. We might be able to hopefully sign some more creative forward players to blend with the players, the defensive side of the club, the team that we've got, and go from there. But it's a work in progress. And all I will say is what I said at the end of last season, and I said to my mates, and I said, 21 when you're here, I don't care if we finish 13th, 14th, 15th. If we're not in a relegation scrap and we're not even anywhere near it, I'll be happy with that. All I want to see this season is some sort of progression. And there has been some progression. We've seen it. We've seen defensively we've been a lot stronger, a lot harder to beat. That's what I've seen. And I'm guessing everybody else, I think from looking at social media, we've all had the same opinion. We've all had the same view that we are progressing in the right pathway. But they're going to be bumps. And they're going to be ones that are going to, we'll look at the thinking, is this ever going to get any better? But we have to be patient enough to give him the time, give him another transfer window, give him another transfer window in summer. Because if we keep on going down the pathway of sacking a manager every year, we're never going to get anywhere else. We're not going to go anywhere else. What can we do about it? We can just rant. We can go on. I go on Twitter or anything else. I'll moan. I'll moan at the performance the other night. I'll moan about that. I'll moan at the game against Leicester. Why didn't we perform the way that we should be at home? Why was it tactically a little bit different? What was different about that game that was different from the other game? That's the fun questions that we all ask. Why? Was it on the manager? Was it on the players? We don't know. That's something that we all debate. But I've seen Everton when we were really, really poor in 1993 when we played Wimbledon, in that last day, and we had to come back from 2 down. I've seen us at the pit, of a team that was going nowhere. But I see optimistic signs this season that we are going in the right way, but it's going to be a slow process. And I'm not demanding any of you guys out there, if you listen to this, watch this, and think whatever you like about what my opinion is. You may think it's bollocks, whatever. When I look at the big pictures here, is that we have to sit tight. We just have to hope that, we can get the players in. And the players who played the other night, who disappointed the football club again, those players, hopefully we won't see them again. We won't see them in our squad, but I would guess they'll probably be on the bench because we haven't got a strong enough squad. But in time, I won't think this season, but I think in time, if we get the right players in to complement what we currently have, I think we can manoeuvre ourselves a little bit further up the table. Don't matter where, as I said before, I don't mind where we finish, as long as it's away from a relegation zone and we're not in any kind of position of that. And then let's look what happens in the summer next year and see where we go from there. Because it'll be the last season at Goodison Park. Hopefully we can get rid of some more of the players who obviously are not going to be part of the club. And then bring in some more, get some of the younger players coming through, and hopefully we can go into next season, our last season at Goodison, more competitive and at least challenging and being a little bit more higher up the table than we currently are. But we have to be patient. And it's simple as that. I mean, I will rant, I'll get angry like everybody else after a result against Leicester and against the result the other night. And seeing it, here we go again. But in the back of my mind, I have to be patient and just hope, that we are going in the right. We have to be patient. We have to be able to trust the process, trust the manager, trust him, trust the coaching staff, because he's got very experienced coaching staff. As for the owners, well, that's a different story for another day. This is a first of my videos, and if I get a lot of positive feedback on what people think of this video, then great. If not, let me know if I need to continue with my views, because I've got lots of views on the stadium, which is flying up like a rate of knots. And that's the positive thing we have at the moment. And, everybody's preferred to wait for the videos from the guys who are sending the drones up, and seeing what the stadium flying up there. But as owners, as for the owner and our the boardroom, we need to change that culture. That's for another day. Anyway, I'm going to go on, leave from now. Let me know what you think of this video. Give me some pointers. But if you agree with what I think, that we need to go and take our time, be patient with what Frank Lampard wants to do and the way the club wants to go with the team, then, let me know. If you think it's the best way forward. If you think he should be gone, should have somebody else in charge, just let me know. We can have a debate about that, and we can agree to disagree. But, you know, let's see where we can go. Anyway, for now, speak to you later.